Hey guys, welcome to today's video and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mariola. Today we are in Puebla, Mexico, and I'm super excited to take you guys along with me today. I have no idea what we have planned, so let's just get into the video. Our first full day in Puebla was spent with the family members that live there, with a surprise serenade from mariachis, amazing homemade food, lots of tequila, and some learning from the family history. The second day also involved some family time, but in the afternoon we went to El Zócalo de Puebla, which is the park and plaza in the historic center of Puebla. It was a bit before sunset and was surprisingly packed for a weekday, as you can see from the restaurants and the bars on the sides. Here you can find a mixture of history and things to see with street performers that you'd find in Times Square. Our tour guide for the day was my grandfather, and it was so fun learning about all the different places he visited when growing up here, one of his favorite restaurants being this one, where you can find delicious tacos árabes, as they're called, which we had for dinner and I 10 out of 10 recommend. We also had some drinks at a bar nearby, where you could tell the mixologist was very passionate and creative with his drinks. After that, we walked around the university area nearby and found a market called el Mercado el Parian that had some live music and tons of kiosks with alebrijes, snacks, clothes, ceramics, and more. The next morning, I woke up very early and was able to watch the sunrise over the volcanoes Popocatépetl and Iztaccíhuatl, who were in the beautiful backdrop of our entire day. And after breakfast, we drove about 20 minutes to Cholula, a district in Puebla best known for the many churches that they have, some of which we visited during our day. Our first stop was the Santuario de la Virgen de los Remedios, which is on top of a pyramid called La Gran Pirámide de Cholula. In order to get there, you have to walk up a somewhat steep hill. On a normal day, it wouldn't be hard, but the fact that Mexico is at a higher altitude than normal, that affects your breathing even when you think it doesn't. It was quite the breathtaking walk, filled with many rest stops along the way. You think I'm kidding, but I'm not. At least the stops were filled with beautiful views like this. Once you make it to the top, you're able to get a 180 view of Cholula with its many churches, again Popocatépetl and Iztaccíhuatl, as well as the church right behind, of course. You might think I left this clip by mistake because it's a repeat of the view, but this is the actual 180 view you get when you go up some steps and stand on a platform with observation binoculars. And if you walk behind the church itself, you'll also get the rest of the 180 view, which kind of reminds me of the Miami skyline, if that makes any sense, because they have random short buildings around the city. Out of all the churches we saw that day, I thought this one was the prettiest one inside and out. I loved all the gold details in the white behind it and how the lighting would come in. A quick history and significance of the church: it was built in 1594 to honor the Virgin that appeared to the Spaniards during the Noche Triste or Noche Victoriosa, when Hernán Cortés, his Spanish conquistadors, and their native allies were driven out of Tenochtitlan. In a room towards the back, you'll find this painting that lists out per month the saints that are celebrated, November being one of the busiest months, and right in front of it, you'll find decorated virgins that are taken to be part of the processionals for some of these celebrations. Another cool room is actually behind the altar where the Virgin is, where you can go up a few steps and get close for a quick prayer. On your way out, you might find some bags with holy water that are free to take. Our next stop was a short walk away, El Convento de San Gabriel Arcángel. We explored this one a bit by ourselves, and when we stepped outside, our tour guide talked about the architecture and said a couple things.
Esos que se ven como racimitos,
Sí.
son las 5 llagas de Cristo, ¿no? Cristo lo lleva en las manos, en los pies y en el costado.
Afterwards, we took a short drive to el Templo de Santa María Tonantzintla. I love the Middle Eastern architecture and would have loved to have shown you the inside because it was very detailed and there was a lot of decor going on, but they charged you for filming or taking pictures, which I don't mind paying to film, but the rudeness of the people in charge just rubbed me the wrong way. Still, it was quite a sight to see, and outside they commemorated a piece of the temple falling during the big earthquake of 2017. Once back on the bus, we devoured some snacks we got in a shop, such as las tortitas de Santa Clara, which are native to Puebla and were delicious. And we then visited Uriarte Talavera for a tour of the factory and to learn how they make the ceramics called talaveras, which you've probably seen as very customary in Mexico and recognize its patterns but didn't actually know the name of it. It was so cool seeing the different products that they had and learning about how it is the oldest company in Puebla and one of the first in the country, founded in 1824, and we're actually celebrating their 200th anniversary during our visit, which is why they had special anniversary products such as a collaboration they did to create F1 helmets.
Claro que sí.
After walking around for a bit by ourselves, we were taken around the factory where they showed us the different stages they go through to create these masterpieces, the amount of weeks it takes, the colors they use, and the minerals used for such colors. This here is an old oven they used to bake the ceramic, which is no longer in use, but instead they use this other oven. This is an example of the crushed minerals they use to get the vibrant blue for the talaveras, the machines they use, as well as the other colors. Here are a couple of the unsold pieces that unfortunately broke while making. One of my favorite parts of the tour was watching this artist at work as he sculpted what would eventually become a talavera. We also got to see how they put resin in specific parts of the talavera and how they dip it in the desired color.
Claro que sí. Sí, señor.
Also how they handwrite the company name, the years, and other information of the brand on the bottom of every talavera they make. And we got to see some artists at work as they painted a life-size Virgin Mary for a nativity scene. We also got to see another artist at work as he sketched new pattern ideas and some vases that had already been imprinted with the pattern to be painted on very soon. On the second floor of the factory, you'll find a museum that has different talaveras made by many people, some of my favorites being the more political pieces I'll show you in the next clip. After the Talavera tour, we had dinner at Mural de los Poblanos, an upscale restaurant that has traditional food from Puebla. We started off with a taco on the house and some soups. I'm usually not much of a soup person unless I'm sick, but you have to have the soups in Mexico because they're way better. And then for the main dish, I ordered the mole tasting with pork and was able to try out 6 different types of mole, and holy moly, they were all amazing. And last but not least, dessert was a pan de elote con rompope, basically like a corn cake with an ice cream made of their equivalent of eggnog or coquito, which was so good, and then nieve de limon. The food was delicious and the staff was amazing, so I definitely recommend checking it out. And that's it for our time in Puebla, Mexico. Make sure to stick around for the next video, which is a hotel and room tour of where we stayed, the Intercontinental Presidente Puebla Hotel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!